What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas Live. It is Wednesday, June 24th. That's my little look over at my little clock. Y'all know I'll be looking at my little clock because I don't know what the date is. But what's up, everybody? We are here. Let me turn that music down a little bit. My little intro song, my little Lucas Live intro song. I like my little song. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, we were partying last night with the family of Darren Peterson. If you guys did not see our live broadcast last night, go back and watch it. It's on our Facebook. It's on our YouTube. We had the pleasure of live streaming from Darren Peterson's family draft watch party here in Canton, Ohio. It was packed. It was loud. It was fun. It was the energy, the love. It was absolutely incredible. The number 2 pick in the NBA draft is from Canton, Ohio. Going to the Utah Jazz. I'm ready. Yes, we're going to have Jazz jerseys. We invented jazz, black people. Jazz is all right. So it is out there in Utah, and you ain't never been to Utah. Utah is a beautiful place out here. Beautiful mountains, beautiful rivers. I hear it's beautiful. It's time for us to get out to Utah. But jazz is a part of our culture. So he is going to the Jazz, and we are getting our purple Jazz jerseys, and we are supporting Darren Peterson. We are so excited about it. Shout out to his family. Shout out to his mom, Tasha. Shout out to his dad, Daryl. Shout out to his brothers, his sisters, his cousins, his grandpa, his grandmas, everybody. I mean, it was amazing. We got to meet some of his family yesterday, his trainer, former coaches, so many people yesterday. If you guys didn't see it, go back and watch it. You can see interviews with these people who are near and dear to his heart, and he is near and dear to theirs. The love they have for him is absolutely incredible and amazing. And it was just a beautiful night. So last night we tore down the whole studio to take it off site to the event. And so this morning I had the pleasure of coming in and resetting the studio. And here we are. I have a virtual guest today. Miss Ariana Graves is here with me today. She is a mortgage lender, and we're going to talk about mortgage lending, how to position yourself to get a home. I'm also going to talk to her a little bit about content creation because she is actually one of my favorite content creators, whether she knows it or not. I've been talking to realtors and lenders and telling them that they should be putting out more content. People need to know, like, and trust you for any sale, for anything, for any whatever, right? And to make the biggest purchase of their life, you'd think they want to know, like, and trust you before they lean in. And it's not like I'm buying a car and you shuffle me back to the finance person and it's like, oh, my head is spinning. But for a lot of people, it is like that. Or you're going to buy a house and you don't know you don't have a realtor, or you had a realtor a long time ago and they're not still in the game or whatever it is, and you don't know who to go to now, or you're in a new area and they're not putting themselves out there enough. Just my opinion. But she is. Phenomenal job. Interesting, engaging, fun, funny, real, all of it. Content that she's putting on social media that I think is just absolutely amazing and the exact example of what I think more people should do. So can't wait to talk to her. We're also going to do our community spotlight this morning. We're going to focus our community spotlight, brought to you by Mentor Stark, on Darren Peterson this morning. We're going to watch some clips from him from the draft last night and just celebrate our Canton kid and how excited we are for that man who has gone on to the NBA and is doing such amazing things. We couldn't be more proud. Good morning as you guys come in. Good morning, Miss Judy Pledger Williams. How are you? Thank you for all your love and support. You know, you like an auntie to me. You know, I want to say like another mom, but you like another auntie. You know what I mean? You always show me love and support, and I know how much you knew and love my mom and my aunt, and I just love you, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here for me always. I'm gonna share this broadcast. You're blessed. You are blessed. I know it. You have such a beautiful family too. Shout out to your wonderful husband and your wonderful kids and everybody in your family. What am I supposed to be doing right now? I'm going to share this broadcast. That's what I'm doing. So it's tricky because I got to go in as Lucas Tyndale to my Facebook, and then I'm going to search Lucas Live Media. If you're like, how do I do this? And you don't know, I mean, you just got to look. I mean, if you're here, you found me. But if you don't know how to share it, you just go to Lucas Live Media. You're going to find us there, and where it says we're live. And here I am, push and share. Join us live. People are probably like, how are you even here this morning? Weren't you just on last night? We want to thank you all for all the people who engaged and views. We have thousands and thousands of views from last night's live watch party for Darren Peterson and his family. Again, shout out to his family. And we want to thank his family for inviting us out to be a part of last night. That was very special for me and our team. My son got to do his first live broadcast with me. I'm grateful for him. He's such a sports fanatic. He knows his sports inside out. He's watched every game of Darren Peterson that was ever on TV from high school to college. He played against him when he was younger. And my son and I are huge Darren fans, and my son would not let me miss a game. So, like, if Darren's on and playing and Kansas is playing on 3 o'clock on a Saturday or whatever time, and I'm busy, my son is texting me like, are you watching the game? And I'm like, let me turn it on my phone or something. Let me watch it. Let me not miss it. Shout out to young Luke for, joining us last night. Shout out to Danny for being your host. Danny doing her thing on the broadcast as always. Tiff, who is 18 months pregnant. I keep saying our girl Tiff is having her first baby. She was in the building, moving and grooving, running things behind the scenes as she always does. She was standing on couches and chairs trying to get better angles. I don't know if the people at Union Park needed to know that, but hopefully they don't know that she was standing on a couch to get better angles of the family and stuff. But it was absolutely amazing. Mark Bigsby, my man, what's up, Mark? Shout out to Mark Bigsby, who's in the chat right now. It's hard for me. I don't want to. Don't go nowhere, Mark. I want to shout him out and show him some love. He'll jump out the broadcast because Mark is not somebody who wants a bunch of accolades. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to the Juneteenth committee. Mark put on our Juneteenth here in Canton once again at Nemasilla Park. Another wonderful time. I didn't hear about any shootings, stabbings, any craziness like people act like happens all the time when you bring Black people together. Did not happen. I'm sure there were some little instances of things, but nothing crazy went on. Mark does a phenomenal job. He had a wonderful group of ladies. You got to tell me, what's that group of ladies who was the security, that the gun club, the ladies gun club and they was in there ready to go. They were ready to throw down if they had to. Shout out to Mark for bringing his team, his crew on last Friday. We put together a Juneteenth episode. So many people are still talking about it. Me and Mark threw that together in days. I mean, I was like, I trust you. You give me some people. He trusts me. He's like, you know how to run the thing. Let's come together. Let's make it happen. We made it happen. It was absolutely amazing in honor of Juneteenth, which is such an important holiday, such an important time to celebrate in our country. Shout out to Mark Bigsby for what he does in our community. I know there's more coming up, Mark. You got to keep flowing the information to me, what's going on in this community, so I can keep everybody up to date. Umpteen rounds. Is that like a number? Umpteen times. I done told you umpteen times. They about to let off umpteen rounds in you. I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, it sounds great. It's a ladies' gun club here in Canton, and they were our security, and I love that. That's diversity there too, because often we think of men as the protectors, but we got to stop missing the power of women. We got a powerful woman on the show today. I'm excited to talk to her. She's in mortgage lending. And she's from Canton. She now lives in Columbus. She's on virtually today. I saw her first with my cousin, Lisa Lucas, who is a realtor extraordinaire and a business extraordinaire and everything extraordinaire, if you know her. And so when I saw her with her, I'm like, oh, she's legit, because Lisa don't play. Lisa ain't messing with no mess, and nobody that's in no mess and doing no mess. Lisa is just absolutely awesome and amazing. I want to shout out our sponsors. Quickly, we want to thank SARTA for always rocking with us all these years. Different ways, different times, but always rocking with us. Make sure you guys are following SARTA's social media pages. They're doing some cool things on there. Make sure we continue to vote for, support, encourage others who need a ride places to use SARTA services. SARTA is an integral part of our community here in Stark County, and we want to continue to support SARTA as SARTA continues to support us. Also, don't forget Jessica Danielle Nails, ladies and gentlemen, who want to go get a mani, a pedi, a mani. What else do you get at the nail salon? I don't know. Just a mani and a pedi. They got two things on the menu. I don't know. But whatever. There's important stuff. Okay. There's types of things you can get, like gel nails and acrylic nails. You see, I'm educated on the nail game, right? She has the nail bar here on Fulton, and she now has NC Nail Lounge, beautiful new location in North Canton, Ohio, right there on Main Street. Make sure you check out Jessica Danielle Nails. Also, the Linda Reibenstein team. Check out the Linda Reibenstein team, a realtor, friend of mine, somebody who I started working with to do content. I didn't know Linda a year ago. I met Linda over 6 months ago. She wanted to do some content. We started doing some content together. She's gone on to do some content on her own and has set up some new things herself and is doing a little podcast and some other things like that. Shout out to her for continuing to be innovative. She's been in this business for over 30 years, but we have a 3D camera that her and I use together. Somehow I got in partnership with her using 3D cameras. I had this down at Juneteenth. I have some good footage from there. This little 3D camera that I can take into the real estate properties, and we can get 360 views of everything and create walkthroughs and things like that. If that's a service somebody needs, you guys can let me know. Something else I can provide as a part of my video services. And then Ace Carpet Cleaning. Shout out to Ace Carpet Cleaning. They are here for you, a part of the Jenny Can Cleaning family. Get those carpets clean. I'm telling you, it'll liven up your house, freshen up your house, make it smell better, make it feel better. You got kids crawling on the floor. You got animals crawling all around. It's a great time of year to get that all cleaned up. For the spring, for the summer, it's that perfect time of year to get that together. So check out Ace Carpet Cleaning at acecarpetcleaning.com. We love and support them as they love and support us. All right, let's jump into a couple more things before we bring our guest on. We have our African American Festival coming. Surprised to see your face, Erin Nicole. Welcome. Good morning, Autumn. Autumn T4977. Good morning, Lucas. Great surprise to see your face here today, Ariana Nicole. You know Ariana Nicole? Autumn, tell me who you are, Autumn. Autumn, welcome. I'm not sure if I know who Autumn is, but Ariana might know who you are. But we're gonna find out. Tell us your real name, because see, your YouTube name could be like Cousin Pookie 227, and we all know that's just how it is. So you got to tell us who you really are. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Good morning, though. Good morning. Good morning. African American Festival coming July 11th. Please plan to support. Please plan to come out. Please plan to support. Please plan to come out. We are going to have a great time. My studio's right here, right behind Centennial Plaza. Y'all going to hear it and see it. We're going to be showing it and all that. But me showing it to you and give you a peek of it is not the real deal. I'm even going to have some of the acts coming up here using my studio as a dressing room and all that and stuff. You know, they're going to have to leave me a tip or something. I don't know. But we're excited about it. There are going to be amazing food trucks. You know how we get down in our culture. Autumn Taylor, Ariana is her cousin. Okay, she knew who it was. She knew she in the virtual green room. She back there doing this or something. I don't even know how to do it, but you know she doing it. You know she getting it. She like that's her cousin. What's up? Welcome. What's up, Mandy Hannon Williams? Good morning. Thank you so much for always showing love, Mandy. I don't know. Are you a morning person? Because you be up, you be on here, you be one of the first ones in the chat all the time. Much love to you. We gotta talk. We gotta get y'all on. We're gonna stop talking about it. We're gonna just talk. Let's just talk. Let's talk this week. All right. African American Festival, food trucks, vendors, so much more. I'm gonna put up some new Adriana. Shout out to Adriana Downing, who has been putting together some things. I'm gonna give you guys some new slides and some new flyers to help you guys see a picture of what's gonna go on there. It is a great time. Don't miss that. All right. We had our draft party last night for Darren. It was so much fun. I want to jump real quick into our community spotlight. I just want to show you guys some clips from social media of Darren Peterson being drafted into the NBA last night, number 2 pick overall to the Utah Jazz from right here in Canton, Ohio. What an amazing story. What an amazing time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check out a couple of clips of what went on last night, starting with him and his brother were the first brothers to enter the NFL and NBA in the same year. Absolutely incredible. What a family. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. A legacy. It's hard to find the words to describe what that means. His brother, undrafted out of Wisconsin, was brought into the LA Rams. Shout out to him. He was recently on a local podcast. It's called Morning something podcast. I gotta look it up. But I'm a fan of it. It's a newer podcast. It's local. And we had the host on our show last night. We're going to show you guys some information. He'll be on our show as well. First 2 brothers to be drafted into the NFL and NBA from Canton, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. Not the first 2 from Canton, Ohio. The first 2 ever just happen to be from Canton, Ohio. That is absolutely incredible. Daryl and Darren Peterson, one going to the NFL, one going to the NBA in the exact same year. They will both start their careers this fall. Ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely incredible. Let's watch the moment Darren was drafted.
The second pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Utah Jazz select Darren Peterson from the University of Kansas.
We were in the room with the family. They went crazy. You can imagine. Him hugging his mom. What a special moment. His grandfather, his dad, his sister, his brother. Special moment right there.
Goals, play all 82 games. Coming off the year I had at Kansas, I didn't get to play all the games that I wanted to. My first goal is to play all 82, make the playoffs, try to get a ring. I seen some rookies get deep in the playoffs, and they kind of inspired me to get there. They came up short, but I want to get all the way and get a ring.
Shout out to Darren. Want to play all 82 games. You guys know his career at Kansas was plagued with cramping and some things. That's not his legacy. That's not who he is. He's been playing his whole life. We've been watching him play and be healthy his whole life. So we know he's going to go out there and do it. Shout out to him for that moment. Let's check out this moment where he talks about his dad's influence. I met Daryl at the barbershop when he was a kid. Him and his dad were at the barbershop. He was in middle school. My son was in high school. My son was like, no, that dude right there. No, my son was in middle school. He was in grade school. And my son was like, that dude is the man in basketball. I'm looking at my son like, Lucas, what are you talking about? That dude's feet are dangling in the barber chair. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, Dad, I'm not playing. Like, this guy is the real deal. I'm like, okay. Continued to watch his career, and he continued to prove that he was all the way through middle school, high school, everything, college, and here he is, number 2 pick in the NBA draft. And I remember in the barbershop the way his dad talked to him, the way his dad talked in general. His dad was talking to all of us and talking to Nate. Shout out to Nate Chester. And he was just talking about it was like the power of your mind and your words. And he was just speaking a different language to me. Like, it's something I know now, but I didn't know then how powerful our words were and our belief in ourselves, and then our work ethic. Obviously, they're a really hardworking family, and that's how they got where they got. So shout out to them. Let's look at this moment where Darren is asked about him and his dad.
When you look back at all of those workouts that your dad put you through, did you guys ever think that it would lead to this, the number 2 pick in the NBA draft?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't, but my pops always knew. And once I got older, I started to believe it as well. But all of it paid off.
I love that. His dad always knew. His dad always believed. His dad was a big driver. Both his parents, huge drivers, huge supporters. We interviewed his grandfather on his mother's side last night. You guys, again, can go back and see those interviews at Lucas Live Media here, right here where you're watching this. Are we still live? Is everything still good? Okay, somebody's telling me they can't load the page. Y'all let me know if we're still good. Mona, Lori, hello, I see you here. Everybody let me know if we're still good. Somebody just texted me and said they can't load the page. Let's make sure we are still good and still here and still live. Y'all let me know. Somebody make a comment in the comments so I know we're still good. Y'all let me know. Good morning, everybody who's here live with us. Y'all let me know. Somebody say hello. All right, so I'm like, that's me stalling. Like, let me type in the chat. Hello. I see somebody hitting some hearts. We good here. We are live. I'm going to type that in the chat and see if it pops up for me. All right. Hopefully that's working. All right. So that was Darren talking about his dad and the impact and influence of his dad. They're so powerful. Okay, there we are. We are good. What's up, Joy? Hello. The Joy Ellis. Joy, I'm going to ask you here live. I would like to propose to you here live on the show. Would you come on my show sometime, Joy? I would love to have you on my show. I'm guessing that's probably not like a hard ask. He probably would be willing to do that for me anytime. I've been thinking about it all the time. I'm like, man, I just want to have Joy on. I mean, there's so many things we could talk about. I really want to have you and Mike on too one day. Mike is my guy. I'm so proud of him and his recent accomplishments even, and then navigating relationships and life and stuff. So to consider it, okay? Just think about it. Good morning, Miss Shavers. Hello. Healthy day, everyone. Miss Shavers, I have to have you on as well. Just love your spirit, love all that you teach and talk about. And I'm so mad at your son, Jesse. Shout out to DJ Jess Black. I can't stand him. I talked to him last night. I talked to him at the event. I talked to him after the event. Me and him were texting this morning. I just want to say this in front of everybody. I can't stand DJ Jess Black. Nobody should play that many good songs in a row ever in anybody's life. What is a person supposed to do? I was supposed to be doing a live stream, and I just wanted to get up and dance. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to do with my life. It was ridiculous. Song after song, hit after hit. I'm like, what is he doing? Why have I never seen anybody, heard anybody DJ like this? It was the most amazing thing in the world. Shout out to DJ Just Black, my man. Shout out to him. Janelle, good morning. What's up, sis? Hello. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, he showed you the text. I was mad at him. I'm so mad at him. I can't stand him. All right, let's watch one more clip of Derek Peterson, and we're going to bring our guest on.
You did rock number 22 at Kansas.
Yeah.
You rocked 22 in high school.
Yeah.
22's taken in Utah.
Is it?
What number are you going to rock with?
I'm glad to Utah.
Kyle Filipowski.
I'm going to have to see what he's willing to do to get that up. But if not, I might try to rock 8 or try to see if he's willing to give it up. If not, probably 8. I like 8. Kobe. Just got Kobe tattooed on my shoulder. So y'all going to see that soon. But yeah, probably 8.
He said, who got that? Oh, this is hilarious. He's like, who got that number? Who got my number 22? He wears number 22 because his dad wore number 22. His dad was a great basketball player here in Ohio, I believe in Cincinnati, and then the University of Akron. And so he's worn number 22 in honor of his dad because that was his dad's number. And now he's going to Utah and somebody has number 22. And he's like, we're going to have to see what we're going to do about that. Normally, that means they buy a number off of somebody. Hopefully, it's not like Dylan Gabriel, who the Browns made a trade and Dylan Gabriel saw somebody else just walking around with his number on. They ain't say they didn't tell him nothing. They was just like, sorry, buddy, good luck. That was rough. So he's going to see what he's going to do. He said if he doesn't get it, maybe number 8 in honor of Kobe. He has a Kobe tattoo on his shoulder. And to me, his game is most like Kobe. When I watch him play, his favorite player is LeBron. But when I watch him play, I'm like, I see Kobe. A lot of people do. I guess it's not just me, but he definitely has that Kobe in him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's lean in. Let's learn more about mortgage lending with my new friend who I've been trying to hunt down. I've been trying to get her on the show. People, everywhere I go, people ask me to come on the show. This particular person, I've been hunting down, trying to get her on the show. She stood me up 3 times. 4 times she told me no. I'm just joking. No, she didn't. We were working it out in the schedule. And I'm so glad to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my guest, Ariana Graves. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, guys. You are hilarious.
Oh, I can't help it. I was raised wrong. I may be right. I don't know. We laughed at everything. So I could just
I'm
literally
over
sit
here
here and talk to
cracking up the
myself
whole time. Like, you have so much energy.
this early in the and I'm tired, but I wake up like this.
You would never know. You seem like you've been up for 5 hours.
Yep, nope. Just woke up, run out to bed a little bit ago. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's a gift. It's a gift from God. I'm so grateful for it because it allows me to do something I love. I absolutely love doing this show and hosting events and doing those types of things. It's been such a blessing for me to do that. Ariana, you also share a name with my oldest daughter. We were talking about that. Shout out to my Ariana and shout out to you.
Yes. I was so nervous because so many people say my name wrong. And he was like, this won't be an issue. My daughter's name's Ariana. And I was like, oh, period.
I'm like, I got it. I love you sent me a voice memo, right? I'm like, so that makes so much more sense, right? It's like you didn't send the phonetic spelling of it, right? You sent a voice memo like, by the way, just you said my name right. So
Like, even if you do it that way, you could still be saying it wrong and you have no idea until you're live and you're like, oh, it's Ariana.
I know, right? I appreciate that, right? Then you got to correct me, and I'm up here like, oh yeah, I don't even know who my guest is. And she just showed up here today. One thing I didn't know about you was you are from the Canton area. I know that you live in Columbus now. I thought you were local because I saw you work with my cousin Lisa. Shout out to Lisa Lucas, realtor extraordinaire. Yes,
Top agent. Very
top
much so.
agent. Yes, she's no joke.
No
So I
joke.
thought you were here, and then I reached out and I was like, "Come to the studio, come on the show." You were like, I'm in Columbus, and you probably didn't want to get up that early."
I definitely couldn't have gotten up that early. I
No?
barely got up this early, and I'm in my home.
Okay, so that's fair. That's fair. But you got up for us. You are our first virtual guest of season 6. I'm grateful to have you. This is so fun and so cool.
It
Hit
is.
those hearts out there. Let me know if you remember, you guys. Lucas Live started like this. My whole show was virtual. Every guest was like this. I started in my basement. I didn't hardly have room for anybody. I brought 1 or 2 people in eventually, like into this 10 by 10 extra bedroom in my basement, and they came on the show. But it started just like this 6 years ago in honor of my mom, Vivian Rosetta Tyndale, who happens to be Lisa's aunt. Who's Lisa's aunt? Lisa's dad is my uncle, and her dad and my mom are brother and sister. So.
Okay.
That's how I got to know you. Okay, so let's jump in a little bit. First of all, how long have you been in mortgage lending?
Gosh, it's going on 7 years. I got in right before the pandemic, which in everybody else's world would have been perfect timing.
What was that like?
Getting into it or the pandemic?
Getting into it and then the pandemic hitting. I know people who started restaurants right before the pandemic, started other businesses. Some
Right.
people it worked out fine. Some people were like, it was the worst time. I think housing picked up, right? People were going to be in their house, so they were like, I want to be in a nicer house. Is that what happened?
Yeah. So, well, what happened was the rates were 2 and 3%, and that was like never. I have a 2%. Shout out to me and my
Okay.
But it was just there was so much going on, and it was all just so sudden. But I had went to school for fashion, so I just got into a point where I wanted to switch industries. Like, I wasn't really feeling fashion. Shout out to Kent State. That's what I got on right now. But
Hey, shout out to Kent State.
Yeah, I was against state. But in 2019, I decided that I wanted to get into finance of some sort. Well, 2017, I decided I wanted to get into finance of some sort. And then in 2019, I was introduced to a company that was a mortgage company, a startup in Columbus. And they promised me a lot and they told me they would teach me all these different things and I would make all this money. And I was like, okay, well, I'm down to try something else where I don't have to go back to college and, get a degree and start over. I really just had to get certified. I studied for 2 months and I took a test and I was a mortgage professional, a licensed mortgage professional at that point. And going into the pandemic of 2020, we had no idea what was going on. We didn't know if we were going to get shut down or if it was going to be the time of our life. And it ended up being the best time of my entire life. Career.
Wow.
The rest of the world was going crazy. But like you said, I mean, a lot of restaurants, like different industries, it was the worst time of their life. But for real estate, it was a refi boom. Everybody that had 7 and 8% interest rates were refinancing to 2 and 3%. And then people that were purchasing, it was like Black Friday for like 24 months because it was crazy. Remember like the Black Friday back in the day? Like Black Friday these days, like
They
nobody
stretch
even
it all out. And all, right.
people were literally hustling and bustling over TVs back in the day.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, but they were really great deals. Now it ain't no deal. You can just get it on Amazon.
Right, right. It's not a deal, right?
I was going to do Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is way more important than Black Friday these days, but it just seemed like Black Friday for literally 2 years. And like all of 2020, going into 2021, I bought my house in 2021 and I had a 2%. So it's just like, it was literally like crazy. It went from, when I got into the industry, interest rates were like 6.5%, but I was doing a lot of refinances because people were refinancing from 8% interest rate. So, and that's what's crazy too, because a lot of people, if you look back, I mean, interest rates were always, higher than, what they even are today. So like kind of understanding that and helping people really understand how to get themselves in a better place financially. I started off just doing refinances and I didn't even really know what I was doing. I just know I was helping people save money. So I was teaching people how to do debt consolidation and to utilize their equity to, pay off debt or, get out of debt completely. And so I was really passionate about just financial education because everything I learned, I feel like was pretty much self-taught. I didn't know a lot about money. I just knew my mom always taught me, if you're happy, treat yourself. If you're sad, treat yourself.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, so I was just like always treating myself.
Right.
And
That's what it sounds like, right? That's how a lot of us grew up.
Right. It's like, I mean, even today, treating myself though is just going to a 5-star restaurant. I love the experience. I love me some seafood, like surfing clean over here. But I just never really knew how to treat my future self. I never knew about saving. I didn't know about IRAs and, how much I should contribute to my 401k or what an emergency fund was or, what reserves were. And I didn't know anything about real estate. I knew my mom owned a home. She was one of the only people that I knew that owned real estate at that time. Like I didn't know a lot of people that had real estate outside of like my friends at school and their parents. Like, I didn't know. I thought that was like, oh, that's something that you do when you're married and you're older. And like, I don't know. So I was just really passionate about learning it for myself. Like I really just got into the industry just being like, I've heard that you can make good money in this industry and I just want to learn it for myself. I want to own a home one day. And then the amount of people that I got to educate and help, I just became extremely passionate about it. I was like, I really felt like this is like my purpose in life.
I love it. It sounds like a passion and a purpose, and it's interesting what you say about, because I even think people sometimes from low income homes, and I don't know your socioeconomic status as a child, but we were taught like, don't be afraid to treat yourself, right? Like we grew up with almost nothing, but it was like when you get a little something, go ahead and have a little fun. You know what I mean? Like life is short. Splurge.
We just learn about splurging. Like we don't learn about saving. We don't learn about being financially secure. Like we don't know anything. We just splurge.
We just splurge. Here's Miss Lisa K. Lucas. She had to join from YouTube. She was trying to join and was having some issues on YouTube. If anybody else is having issues on YouTube, please let me know in the comments if there's some issue. We will try to see what we can do to reset if we have to, or like we'll like stop the stream and start it again if we have to, if it's not working at all. Let us know there on Facebook if anybody else is, if it's working for you, if you're having any issues, please let us know. Lisa's she's been texting me. That's how I've been looking at my phone. Like I got to make sure she gets in. Lisa, as we've talked about already, is the reason that we met, the reason that I saw you, and I could tell you were like a dynamic energy in this space, not just a lender, like, and I think that's important because there's a whole new generation of people who are looking to become homeowners. And they need an education. They need to see a friendly face. It can be very scary, right? There's not correct me if I'm wrong. Help me understand. My understanding of the housing market right now is the inventory is low, or needs there aren't enough houses. I don't know if across the country. I don't know how Ohio is. Interest rates are not as high as they were, but they're not nothing like what you were talking about during the pandemic. And
again.
right. And people are deep in student debt and other things. Home prices are so high. So many people are not buying houses until they're in their 30s or older. I think the average age of home buyers is going up because people don't know what to do, how to do it, and they can't afford to do it. Correct any of that. Help me understand, what is the lay of the land when it comes to buying homes right now?
Yeah, so everybody's situation is different. And what I've learned and like what I do is really just do like a financial analysis of my client. So there's really no perfect time to purchase real estate. The perfect time to purchase real estate is when you can comfortably afford whatever price point I can approve you for. And we talk through the numbers. It's really important to understand your numbers, your budget, what your goals are. And a lot of people don't have to purchase their dream home as their first house. I think back in the day, we were taught to buy a house and truly live in that house for forever. Like that's not the reality, especially our generation. Like I'm a millennial. So like I bought my house at 29, and that was something I was like, I have control over this. Like as a woman, we don't have control over, when we get married per se, because the man proposes most of the time. And that's so, what comes with that is, children and your family. Like I knew I couldn't really control that. God will, take care of that. But I knew I could control my finances. I knew I could control what career I chose. I knew I could control me purchasing real estate. And so that's what I decided to do, and make it my goal. But everyone thinks that I'm so well off and I'm so financially literate, but it took years of me teaching myself education. Like I decided that I wanted to be really, good at this. Like I wanted to be financially literate. And so when I'm working with a client and I'm going over their financial analysis, I let them know, I discuss debt to income ratio. And I will take a look at, you might have some credit card debt. We almost all have student loans. And then just understanding like how to put yourself in the best position credit wise, because we do have to, evaluate what products or programs are available to you. I always tell people the higher your credit, the lower amount of money you'll need to purchase real estate. The lower your credit, the more money you just have to bring up front. So I have programs that go down to a 500. And actually that was pretty much the scenario me and Lisa had for the first time. So I think I was really able to impress her for the first client we closed.
So wait, your first client you closed with her had a 500 credit score?
A 512.
512. They was creeping a little bit over 500, crawling over 500.
500 is the absolute lowest you can have. And she had 12 points over.
That's
and everybody was denying her.
Yeah. So okay, so let's talk about that, because somebody out there is listening and they like, I'm creeping over a 500 myself. It sound like an option. And they're thinking I have no option. I have to be a 650 or better, is what I was always told. And what my wife and I, had to do when we bought our house, and, make sure Lord, I mean, what we went through to buy our house, we bought our house 8 years ago, but I'd just be like, it was like, if I have to send in another form to prove another thing, to send in another arm to prove another thing.
And this was
like
before 2009?
What's
before
that?
2009? I said, was this before 2009?
No, it was after. I was like 2018, 18
Before
or something.
2009, all you had to do was say that you made six figures and you just
Really?
got, no, it was, you had, that's why the market crashed. Everyone thinks like for whatever other reason, back in the day,
Oh,
all you had to
right.
say was, Ariana, I make $120,000 a year. Bet, here's this $500,000 mortgage. Good luck. I'm getting paid. I don't care if you can make your mortgage payment. I'm going on to my next client that's going to lie to me. And they were just handing out mortgages like Oprah for real. There was no documentation that needed to be sourced.
Timeout,
Word
timeout. You're talking about
tell
all
me
of
that you
life?
made six figures.
Okay, so I understand. Let me say what I understand. I understand. I was around in 2008. I was working, and I worked in early childhood. A lot of family. I saw a lot of people struggle. A lot of stuff went down. Right. So people. I was working in early childhood. People didn't need childcare because they were all losing their jobs. So then the childcare center was struggling. People were losing their homes. It was all bad. And I remember it was like subprime lending and all these things, predatory lending. And I just thought that was like a moment in time and a thing that was like really heavy right then. Are you saying that before 2009, this is how mortgages were always done, or there was just this small pocket of time, or
To my understanding, I mean, there was obviously like redlining and you would get denied because of race. Like in 2009, all of the laws of like not being able to discriminate towards color or gender or age, like I can't even, if someone is 87 and they want to get a mortgage, I can't say, well,
30
you can't
years?
afford it. Yeah,
30
30,
years is
how
a
you gonna
long
get it
time.
off of 30 years? Exactly.
Right.
But it's just back in the day, they would just base it off of how they felt on lending money. And of course, Black and brown people got the worst of it. We weren't even allowed to own real estate. And then when we could own real estate, we could only own real estate in certain areas, which
Right.
became ghetto and all these
Yeah.
different things. So, yeah, I mean, there was, I forget what it was called, but it was basically a no documentation loan. And
Wow.
so they were getting paid. And also back in the day, lenders got paid for the higher interest rates. Like I would get paid more if I gave you a worse interest rate. And I think that people still have the misconception that that is the case today. I would love to give everybody a 2% interest rate. I literally can't. It's not available. So it's just like I have to give you what you qualify for based on your financial situation. And you were saying earlier, I know people's ears probably perked up that I was able to get someone
That,
approved with 512,
talk to us
but
about it.
baby girl had $200,000 in her bank account too. So I was
She,
able
whoa,
to
whoa, 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 whoa.
She
Did you?
had
You said?
money. She
Wait,
just
wait,
had
wait,
back
wait, wait. Yeah, yeah. If you got money, did you say the baby girl have $2,000?
to honey.
What?
Why she
Somebody
wasn't
with
paying
200? How somebody got $200,000 and a 500 credit score? I don't know, but whatever. Well, okay,
hardship, and that's what we had to explain to the underwriter.
okay,
it was
okay.
a manual underwrite, and that's like I actually see it pretty often. Right, cash is king.
Right, cash.
But basically, she had a hardship at a point in her life,
Hmm.
and she overcame it within 2 years. So, like as a lender, we look at a 2-year history. So
Yeah.
like all of her bad credit really was from 24 months prior. Like she had
Mm,
had a lot of missed payments. She had had collection. She had had all these different things.
yeah.
But, you know, 24 months prior, I mean, who's to say her credit could have been a 300? I think the lowest credit score you can have is a 350.
Mm,
So she had got her credit score up to the 500s, and she also had several cash reserves. With FHA, if you have
mhm.
between a 500 and a 580, depending on how many reserves you have, you just have to put down 10%. Most people think, oh, FHA, you can put down 3.5%. You can put 3.5% down if you have over a 580 and you're eligible. If I can get an
Okay.
approval at that score. If you have under a 580 but above a 500, you have to
Mhm.
have other compensating factors to be eligible. So she had been paying her rent on time for the last 12 months. She had several cash reserves, more than 12 months of reserves based on the price point she wanted. And she also was able to put down 10% of the purchase price that she wanted. So she ended up getting a $250,000 or $275,000 new build. She got denied with that new build lender because new build lenders, they're not mortgage specialists. Like they're not brokers. Like they don't have a ton of different products like my company would have. But,
Mhm.
if you get denied with them, and you can find another lender to approve you, you can still purchase their new
Home
build.
and building services.
Right. You just have to figure out your own financing. And
Right.
she was just excited that she didn't have to buy the house in cash because she was just like, I know I have this cash, but I don't want to use all of my cash.
Wow.
So she was really excited that she didn't have to put, I mean, most people be like, well, I don't got 10%. She was happy she didn't have to pay 100% in
That is
cash.
incredible. So
Right.
what's
So
normal? So this lady, 500 credit score, 512, had $200,000 in the bank, which only 1% of people in the world have in the bank. And she did it. And
count
that's
it out.
amazing. Shout out to her. And it is, I think it also is a testament to the fact that we can change our financial situation faster than we think. Like, and somebody right now is struggling and getting hits on their credit and things. And then I think people start to get discouraged and think, I'm never going to get out of this. It's never going to get better. And the reality is, time moves fast. You start making some good moves, and things can shift, and credit scores adjust. How often do
Yeah.
credit scores adjust? Now, I know as a lender, you don't just somebody walks in, they're over 600 yesterday or 650 or wherever they need to be yesterday,
Mhm.
and you look back over 2 years and it's a roller coaster. Tell us how that would work,
Mhm.
and to just help us understand kind of how somebody out there. I'm assuming there's people out there watching or who will watch who are in a rocky credit situation and they're trying to understand what is the likelihood of me getting a mortgage now or in the future. What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's hard to say because everybody's situation is so different. And I personally think credit is a scam. It really is.
Really,
I think it's a freaking scam because,
this is
like,
a
it
hot take. Let me give you the
honestly,
screen. Break it down. What you talking about?
no, because honestly, your score is just wrapped up into so many different things. There's many different factors that will basically result into you having a particular credit score. But we, as mortgage professionals, have to run your profile through what's called an automated underwriting system, and it's basically an AI underwriter. And
Mm,
so there's different results of when I run your scenario. So first, I need to figure out what is your work history like. Not everybody, we look at a 2-year work history. Stability is going to be look like you being in the same industry for those 2 years. If you don't have to be at the same job for those 2 years, but we want to see that you're working full time for those 2 years. We want to see that your income has increased maybe over those 2 years. We just want to see that stability. We don't want to see gaps of unemployment. If we do see gaps of unemployment, you might have to have a longer history. So we really just want to see a solid 24 months. So as you can imagine, someone that has been at the same job for 2 years or same industry for 2 years, or a salary guaranteed, is going to look a lot more stable than someone that's had 6 jobs in 24
mm,
months for 3 months here and 6 months there and 8 months there. That person doesn't look like they have stable finances. That usually results to that person not having the best credit because their income hasn't been stable over the last 2 years. Not always, but that's very common. Like if someone tells me that they've had more than 3 jobs over the last 2 years, I can almost assume that there was a point in time where, they weren't working for a few months, and that is a result of them not being able to handle whatever bills that they
right,
had at that time, because most people don't have 3 to 6 months of reserves in their savings account, which
right.
you should, but most people don't. Most people
Mhm.
don't, they're not in a position to do so. So when I run your profile through that algorithm and it sees your work history, it also wants to see if you have any reserves or savings. So reserves is basically, if I say that your mortgage payment is $1,500, 1,500 times three, I don't really know exactly, but let's say
Mhm.
you'll want to have about $5,000, three to five
Right.
thousand dollars saved. If your credit isn't phenomenal, or if you have like shaky work history, but you have $10,000, that's going to be a compensating factor to override that your work history wasn't the best. But if all of those sections are great, then you're more likely to be approved. But someone that has not a lot of savings, you at least want to have good credit. If you don't have good credit, you want to have good savings or stable work history. But those are pretty much the three things that we look at outside of the actual credit score itself. But the lower your credit score, the stronger those other compensating factors that I'm speaking about should be. And so typically the only positive factor that someone can prove that they can afford a mortgage, you have to understand too, like if you're not able to handle your credit cards that have $100 minimum payment, or your student loans, or your credit cards, or like, car payment, whatever, any other debt for the most part is going to be less than a mortgage. So if we see that you're not able to handle these smaller debts, we have to make sure that the algorithm is okay with you affording a much larger debt. And you have to prove that you have some sort of stability and history and credibility to be able to afford this mortgage.
That's excellent information. You took us to school there. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That
I'm
was
trying to explain it in like the simplest terms without, I mean, it's just an algorithm. It's just like your financial algorithm. If you like, if you can't afford, if you can't pay your credit cards on time, we are not going to think you're going to pay your mortgage on time.
okay. So this is great information. Shout out to my wife who's here. She said great information. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Um, so okay, so here's something that I thought people like a lender would think. I thought a lender would think it makes sense that if you're not paying those other things that are smaller, what's the likelihood you're going to pay the thing that is bigger? Because they're assuming the issue is cash flow, right? Or management of cash.
Mhm.
But I thought that they might think, well, they're going to pay for their house. I mean, they got to live there. They're not going to, they might not pay that credit card because what's the consequence? They already got the thing and it's just sitting there, but they're going to
Yeah.
pay their mortgage. That's not how it's looked at. They're looking at it like you're not showing credit is, two things I want to talk about. One, credit is what I assume is a responsibility metric. It is trying
Mhm.
to see if you're responsible to do what you've promised. You
Pay
promised you
back.
pay this back, right? And you
Mhm.
did or you did not. You made a
Mhm.
promise to people and you did it or didn't do
Sign
it.
contracts.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at your history of contracts with other people. Let's say once upon a time there was no credit scoring and all these systems and all these algorithms. It was just people. I mean, I don't know. They'd go over to somebody else and be like, did they ever borrow money from you? They'd be like, yeah. Did they pay
Did
it
they
back?
pay you
Yeah.
back?
Right.
I'm not giving them my. They asked me for money. They asked you for money. Did they pay you back? They
They're
asked
like,
me for $100,000.
I always tell
No.
my kids, I talk about my adult kids about whether they have good credit with me or not. And they all do. But
Yeah.
there's times where they ask me for money. Dad, can I have money? That's one thing. Okay. It's an ask. Do I have it? Do I think what you want it for is reasonable and we make some agreement? Yes, you can have some money for food. Yes. But I always tell my kids, I will not fund your fun. Just a rule I have as adults. I'm like, as adults, the least you can learn to do is fund your own fun. I will make sure your main needs are met. And the older you get, the more I'm like, well, you definitely got to take care of your main needs too, because I want to teach them responsibility. But okay, so let's zoom out a little bit and looking at a credit score. You said a minute ago you think a credit score is a scam, or I don't know if that was your term. And then you
Yeah.
explained how it works, but you didn't explain why it's a scam. What do you mean it's a scam?
I think it's a scam because, for instance, like someone can have literally perfect credit, and then you have one $60 collection and your score went down 80 points. That's what I feel like is a scam,
That's
because
fair.
you
That makes
can
sense.
work for years to have perfect credit and have like two mess ups and your credit is ruined. But you can't have ruined credit and fix
Fix it
those
that
things
fast.
in a couple months and have perfect credit. Like it's just like you one little hiccup. Now I did have someone, but people, and that's why it's important to monitor your credit, because if you catch things quickly, like I had someone that literally had like perfect credit and that exact thing happened. She was unaware of a collection that hit. It was like $65. I know that she had perfect credit history outside. I was like, do you know that you have the $65 collection? And she was like, no. And her credit really went down like 85 points. And as soon as I told her that, she got off the phone with me. She called every single bureau, TransUnion, Equifax, and what's the other one? Experian.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
like, this is a mistake. I didn't know about this. Literally paid it in that moment, waited 15 days, and her credit went back up. Had she was like, I don't care, forget that collection, or I don't got the $85. They can, like, if she wouldn't have taken care of it in that moment, and she waited 6 months later when she didn't realize it because she didn't monitor it, or whatever the situation, she probably wouldn't have been able to fix it as quickly. And so, my advice to everyone, even if you have bad credit, monitor your credit, try to figure out why your credit is what it is. Honestly, I know that ChatGPT and Elon Musk and everybody are evil people, but ChatGPT helps me so much. And
ChatGPT helps me too.
ChatGPT literally makes my life easier. I don't like that it's making water polluted and all these other horrible things. But if you can get your hands on your credit report, or you can reach out to me and I can get it for you for free. At this point, because a lot of people just don't take the time to do it. When someone is, even if they're not ready, my buyer consultation is that you fill out a little loan application for me. You give me your information of the last 2 years, where you lived, where you worked, and about how much money you have saved. And so I take a look at that. I'll get a soft inquiry on your credit report, and I usually will put that credit report. We have a mortgage simulator, and then I will put it in ChatGPT, and I will say, help this person get to a 650 or above based on their current trade lines. That's my promise. And then ChatGPT will do its magic, and it'll say, oh, they should pay down this balance to this, and they should do this, and they should pay this off, and they should remove the language of dispute, and blah, 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 blah. And then I just send an email, and people are like, oh my gosh, no one has ever done this for me. Thank you so much. And that's free game. I just do that for free. It takes me 15 minutes. I know that person can't qualify right now, but no one has given them the information that they needed specifically to their situation, not just broad general information of pay your stuff on time and pay your debt off. If you have a lot of debt, it's usually not about paying it off. It's usually about paying it down to a certain threshold that will get your credit score up another 30 points. And that may be all you need to go from not being eligible to being eligible. So it's just, I try to make everything as simple as possible. And also for my people that just don't have great credit, sometimes you'll be surprised. I ask all the questions. Sometimes people got a rich uncle. Some people, rich husband that's on the way out. I don't know, whatever the situation is.
He's on the way out, like off the earth or on the way out of the door, and she go get some alimony. Okay, something's gonna happen.
Either way.
You just ask questions. You just want to know. They like either way, money's coming their way. Somebody, Mona Lori just said, and Mona, you have to maybe give us a little more information. Have you heard it? She said, as soon as I paid my student loans off, credit score dropped.
Yes. So same thing with paying off a car. People will always tell me like, well, I'm about to pay off my car.
This is a scam. This is where the scam comes in. Go ahead.
This is where the scam comes off. But it's temporary. So when you pay off an installment loan, you're closing that debt. So it's almost breaking even, because like the things that monitor credit are, and I'm not a credit specialist, but it's credit history, payment history, utilization, I believe, inquiries. I don't know them all. I'm not a credit specialist, but one of them is like accounts, the number of accounts. And so when you close an account, it hurts your credit. Paying off a loan is good, but if paying off a debt, so paying off your credit cards is better, because like it's revolving debt. So it's just like, the best way to build your credit, and the way that I have perfect credit, is that I put everything on my credit card and I pay it off weekly, if monthly, if not weekly. So it's just like what you guys normally are putting on your debit card or just paying in cash, like your groceries, your gas, your whatever, day-to-day stuff, everything.
Utilities? Do you pay your utilities with a credit card?
I don't pay with my utilities on my credit card, I believe.
You're talking mostly
Amazon transactions. Like I put my Ubers, like I attach that to a credit card and I pay it off monthly, because that is the quickest way to show that you can borrow money and pay it back immediately. That's my transaction of like, oh, you're paying for my Uber credit card, I'm gonna pay you right back, because I would normally be paying this in cash. Oh, you're gonna pay for my groceries credit card, I'm gonna pay it right back, because those are normally normal things that you would pay for in cash. But you're not getting a benefit for paying it in cash. You don't get to show the responsibility of paying somebody back if you're paying it in cash. So what you're supposed to be using credit cards for are things that you would normally pay for in cash. You're just getting the benefit of the points and the travel bonuses and all the different perks. You do not use a credit card for things that you cannot afford, because now you're in debt, and now they're saying, ooh, this person ain't gonna pay me back in a minute because she didn't have it.
That is so good. Thank you for saying that. Because I knew a wealthy person once upon a time who owned businesses, and they did that. And I was like, must be nice. I just was like, that's not what credit cards are for. That's cute. That's what you use it for, because you fancy. Because I thought use credit cards for stuff you can't afford. No, so let's talk about this.
Savings for things that you're not, that you don't have in this moment. Like that's the whole point of having 3 to 6 months of reserves, because if your car breaks down, or if your water tank, when you own a house, something's gonna break and it's gonna be thousands of dollars. Let me tell you that. When I help people purchase houses with no money in their account, I'm so on edge. It'll work. I'm just like, if you can afford this payment, and we set it up with down payment assistance, and we have seller credits. Like there have been plenty of times that my clients have come to the table with no money out of pocket, I still have to have this serious conversation of just save, like try to save as much as you can, or just kind of understanding their situation, because when you get a mortgage, you're not just paying your mortgage, you're paying for everything, all the upkeep of that house. Like, I would say 3 years into my home, things start breaking. Like,
Yes. Oh,
I had to
for sure.
replace so many things, and I just can only imagine that if I bought my house with no money,
Yeah.
how would I have been able to afford that? Would I have just not had hot water for months? Or,
Right.
like a hot water tank is about 1,500, and that was the best deal I could get
Come
in
on,
Columbus.
man.
People offered me 3 grand. And I was just like, and luckily I have uncles and family members that were just like, oh no, they're ripping you off, or no, that's too expensive, or whatever. Or I can come up to Columbus and do it myself because that's just too much. Whatever the situation is. Like, I'm not a
Yeah.
handy person. I'm just a girl. What am I gonna do?
I love it.
I have to trust a professional to not
Right.
scam me and to fix whatever my issue is. But if I don't have the money, you're gonna end up having to put it on a credit card. Then you're just paying this credit card off for however many years.
Yeah.
When if you would've just had $1,500 in your bank account, that would have just been one and done, and you wouldn't have had to worry about it. Like, obviously, you got to rebuild that savings or whatever it might be, but yeah, you should not be utilizing credit card. Too many people utilize credit cards for emergencies.
Yeah.
It is meant to build your credit. That is what it's meant to do. But it's obviously there to put people in debt and put people in worse situations.
Sure. What do
It
you
seems
think of
free money.
That's what it feels like. That's what it can seem like. What do you think about these new Affirm and Pay Later thing, Klarna and things like this?
Hate it. And it's so hard
Break it
from an
down. Talk to us about it, because tell us your opinion and then tell us why. I mean, why do you have the opinion you have?
I have the opinion I have because it puts people in a never-ending cycle of just debt. Like, it seems like, oh, it's if you have to use those services, you probably don't need said thing. If you're doing that to purchase extensions
Right.
or
Why are we saying the same thing? Like something just
you
random.
don't actually need. So when I was going through my personal financial journey, I realized everybody that is struggling with money, I think that you should look at your bank statements and your credit card statement, all of your statements for the last 60 days.
Mhm.
You're going to see, personally, DoorDash, like all these food services, going out to eat, Starbucks, whatever your like sin is that is taking all
Right.
of your money. You don't know where your money is going, but all you got to do is spend 15 minutes and look at your bank statements. I see where everybody's money is going
Right.
with my job.
It's your
So
job.
it's like,
It's your job.
you're like, I just don't understand where my money's going. I make this amount of money. I don't know where my money's going. I'm like, well,
That
you spend
DoorDash is way more than you going to get it.
exactly. So when I was going through my journey, I literally eliminated every single thing I didn't need.
Mm.
And in doing that, I was like, wow, I can save about $600 a month. If I eliminate Starbucks, if I eliminate shopping, if I eliminate going out to eat, if I eliminate whatever it was. I didn't get my nails done for, I'm past this. I
Oh,
can't, I
okay. I
can't
see you back. You back. Okay. We didn't see you during that time. You wasn't on
Right.
social media
This
showing
this
off.
was this is a couple of years ago, but it took, or a few years ago. But it's like I needed that. I needed that reality check of like, I don't need to get my nails done. I don't have to get my hair done. I don't have to go out to eat. I don't need Starbucks. And when I eliminated just those 4 things, I literally was able to pay off all of my debt because I was able to save $600 a month, $500 to $600 a month. I was like, I just don't understand why I make this money and I can't figure out where I can save. When I eliminated those things just for like a year, I did that for like a year. I mean, what, $600 a month times 12? I have to use my calculator for everything.
Right.
600 times 12,
7,200.
$200.
Right.
Who would love to have an extra $5,000 in their bank? And then once I was able to save like my first $5,000, I literally got addicted to it.
That's
And then so I was
cool.
just like, now that I've saved my first $5,000, I was like my first 3 to 6 months of reserves at the time. I paid off my credit card debt that I had. I had a little bit of credit card debt at the time. And I was just like addicted to my balances not being negative and my balances being positive. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these savings. I'm like addicted to saving my money.
That's
But I
crazy.
also want to start getting my nails done and my hair done. So it's just like, what can I do to increase my income, but still allow me to save this $500 a month? And
Yes.
then from there, I just found ways to increase my income. In my world, it's, commission. I just have to basically like build my pipeline or whatever it is, like whatever your industry is. But right now, if you're not in an industry where it's just like you can increase your income per se, you can add another stream of income. I mean, you can
Yes.
DoorDash, you can make an extra $500 door dashing. If you need to figure out a way to eliminate what is not needed and also save
Increase.
what you need to save.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent insight. Ariana Graves, ladies and gentlemen. She is a mortgage lender. What areas do you serve? You are from Canton, Glen Oak graduate, and you're now in Columbus. And so I know you worked with Lisa, so I
Mhm.
assumed you were up here, but is it all of Ohio? Is it better to be in Columbus? Do you jump
Several
on a
states.
Zoom with people? What are we doing?
Yeah, so I'm omnipresent, like we were talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
she did say that earlier. Her and the
I'm
Lord.
several different states. I actually closed a deal in Texas last week. I have a deal in
Mhm.
Florida. I do a majority of my business. I service all of Ohio, all of Texas, all of Florida, Georgia, Illinois. I'm several different states.
Yes.
I do majority of my business in those three. But honestly, my consultations can be virtual, but most of the time I am like building my relationships over the phone. Typically, my realtor partners are the ones that are physically with the client. I
Yes.
can handle your finances virtually, just
You
on my
can see
laptop.
it. You just have to look at the data and those
You
things.
just have to provide me what I need, whether that be through email, we can talk virtually, but you'll literally just fill out like my simple loan application for you to
Mhm.
get your documents over to me in a secure manner. And then we'll have that conversation of this is your budget, these are your numbers, just really understanding like what your credit is and, all these different things. And for me to kind of do an evaluation of, this is based on my numbers, what you can
Mhm.
afford. And then we'll even still have the conversation because sometimes I can afford people for way more than what they actually need. And
Mm.
it's not about getting approved, it's literally about comfortability and affordability. I really
Yes.
care that you can manage your mortgage payment. Like,
Right.
there's definitely a such thing as being house poor. I educate my clients on building wealth through home ownership.
Can you tell us and we're ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap here in just a minute, but real quick, the term house poor, what does that mean?
You're buying a house that is over your budget. Like you're living
Right.
above your means. You're trying to, compete with Pete and Paul or whatever, and you're just trying to
Live but on what you have.
yeah.
Right, and
If you
then all you have is a house. You can't
get
go out to
approved
eat,
for
you
a
can't
five
go on
thousand dollar
vacation.
mortgage, exactly. Like
Right.
all you gonna do is live in your house.
Right, I
Like
know, right? That's all you're gonna do. You better love that house, I guess. Right.
exactly. And some people, you might, but it's just like for me, like I really because technically you can get approved for up to 55% of your income, your gross income. And
Mm.
that's almost sick to me because it's just like we're not considering groceries, gas. I'm literally only considering what your
You're
gross monthly income is
and
and then what
55% of your gross monthly income, not net, not what you bring home, gross, as in
gross.
before the taxes, before the
Correct.
gross stuff come out, before
Right.
they start taking all the stuff,
Exactly. And it's
55% of
just
that.
like, can you actually afford this? Like you're literally
Mm.
your entire a paycheck and a half is just going towards your mortgage.
Wow.
You're not gonna be able to afford anything else.
That's a deep way to put it. Wow. That is 55% if you get paid twice a month is a whole paycheck and some of another check that you're saying is gonna go just toward
That's your
your
mortgage.
not your electricity, not your gas,
Not
not your
your
water,
nothing. Not
not your
your
trash.
food, nothing, nothing,
Not a
nothing.
you ain't had a sandwich yet, and yet you
Right,
paying 55%.
right. The only
It
time I feel comfortable doing that is in situations where sometimes I'm not qualifying them based off of sometimes like you can't qualify based on a second job. If you haven't had two jobs for 2 years or more, I can only qualify you on one job. If I'm
okay.
qualifying you on one job and it's 55%, but you got another stream of income, cool. Or if I'm
Mhm.
qualifying just one spouse and we know there's another stream of income in the house, cool. But it's just like I never like to talk people out of purchasing a home or being excited or whatever.
Mhm.
But I
Right.
have real transparent conversations with my clients.
You be like,
Like
"You want this house? you
Right.
need this house. You want
Right.
this luxury, you need this starter.
The thing is, like, a lot of people are like, oh, you could have a bigger house and all these different things. I live so below my means. It's like I can do whatever I want. Like, people will see me spending a lot of money. I told you, I treat
Money on some stuff.
yeah. So when I go out to eat, and Ocean Club is my favorite place. I
Oh,
don't know if
okay,
you've been out.
okay. You're surf and turf. You do your thing.
But I'll spend $250 on a Tuesday because I can. My mortgage is literally 12% of my income. It's not 55%. I can splurge on the things I want. I can travel. I can go to Paris. I can do these different things because my mortgage isn't 55% of my income.
I love it.
So
Lisa says you guys are planning a home buyer
home buyer
seminar
seminar,
soon.
yes,
Be on the lookout.
yes.
Y'all let me know when that is. I'd love to support. I think this information is priceless.
Amazing.
Because it is important that we don't realize that you said you use home ownership as a source to build wealth. And we know that there was a promise of 40 acres and a mule to formerly enslaved people and all these things because they knew that having the opportunity to own land and property was the main means of starting to attain wealth, right? And even our tax laws are written around real estate and so many other things that most of us are never educated on from childhood throughout our lives. We don't know. We good and grown, and I'm still learning stuff. I'd be like, I never knew that, right? So
Right.
shout out to my guy Sharif Smalls, who like talks about buying commercial real estate. He'd be like coming to my studio, coming to my space. He'd be like, you ever think about buying the building? I'm like, buying the building? What do you mean? Like, no, Martin, that sounds crazy. But he's like, no, you don't understand. It is possible. And things like that open our mind to the possibility of what's real. And I think
Yeah.
I've said this to you before, and the reason I wanted to have you on was because I love how fun you make real estate, lending, all of it through your content. It's engaging, it's fun, it's cool. It's bringing in a whole new generation of people into it. Your sit downs, your podcasts, your interviews are engaging and fun. You're cutting clips. Before we go, what inspired you, or why did you decide to do that? Because I think that opportunity, that lane is wide open, and it's
Mhm.
open because although there's others doing it, there's not a lot of people doing it in the location that people live in. So it's like somebody in Ohio may never see somebody in Ohio who's doing it. Somebody in Columbus may never see somebody in Columbus who's doing it. And although you're
Right.
omnipresent and can serve people all over the country, it's a powerful thing to be like, I saw that girl and then I'm doing a call with that girl. I saw that girl and I'm meeting with that girl. Why do you
Yeah.
think putting yourself out there on social media and educating people about home ownership is so important?
It's important to me because I truly am like building my brand. Like, I love being able to service my community. And I feel like the only way people are going to know who I am is by putting myself out there. And I think that the lack of the Black and Brown community owning real estate is really just a lack of education. So I really do try to give as much free game and education as I possibly can, because I'm not just some unicorn that is, just I'm the only person that can learn this or do this or whatever. Honestly, when I realized I could do it, I was just so passionate about teaching everybody else. Like, it's that simple. I bought my house on a $50,000 salary, you know? So it's just like, I didn't have to make a ton of money. I didn't have to, but I didn't wait to purchase until I made more money. I make a lot more money now, but it's just like I purchased real estate because I now have like $100,000 worth of equity. So it's just like, I didn't buy my dream home. My house that I live in right now is nowhere near my dream home, but it's just like, if I sold it today, I would be up 100
That's
bands. Who can say that?
amazing.
Who can
That's
say that?
amazing.
No,
Yeah.
but if I would have 5 years ago when I bought this house said, well, I'm not married and I don't make as much money as I want, and this isn't my dream home, I would probably just now be purchasing a house. It would be 3 times the mortgage payment that I'm making right now, and I wouldn't have the equity that I have right now. So it's just like, you have to focus on your financial situation and what can help you, build wealth. That's what I focus on. And so, because I'm going about it in a different angle, I feel like I have to educate and kind of promote myself in that way. And then it attracts the clients that are aligned and meant for me, because I'm building my business. I'm self-employed, for those that don't know. I'm attached to a lender as a licensed professional. I'm not the one giving you guys hundreds of thousands of dollars. My brokerage is. I don't have it on me.
Not
Sorry.
yet. I just did.
I don't have it on me. But
Right.
to help all the clients that I have to work for I have to be associated with a brokerage that can lend you the money that you need for the real estate. So I'm really just putting together the programs, and this is how I build my clientele and build my name. So I love
I
it.
love it. Okay, one more question. How many times have I said one more question? I'm sorry. You're just fascinating, and I want to know. Okay, one more question because you got a life, got to go. It's past your wake up time. You got up early, and now
This
it's
is what I usually be logging on.
okay. She got to great. She got to get some stuff going. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, and pardon me if this is too personal of a question, but I think it's an interesting place. You are not married, is that correct?
No.
Okay, so you're not married, but you're a homeowner and you're a woman. And doesn't I mean this I don't know how to ask this question. My question is there's a lot of talk around women taking on higher positions, taking on jobs where they're making a lot of money, buying homes when they're not married, and how that's going to scare off every guy and how they shouldn't do it. Or you're too tied down because you already own a home, so now he don't know what to do and can't marry you and all that. Any thoughts on that? Because I'm really big on women's empowerment, and I think I hate to see any woman limit herself waiting on Boaz or something, waiting on I'm waiting on Boaz. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
For
don't know.
sure.
What are your thoughts on that? I'd never asked you that before, so I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that?
Go after the career, go after the homeownership, go after the independence, and the right guy will show their true colors. Like, I just feel like I'm dating someone now that appreciates everything that I have. And
So good.
before I dated guys that were very intimidated by it or
That
wanted
was
to like
real.
no, 1000%. Like,
Okay.
I actually bought my house going out of a relationship because I just think that, you know, you like a lot of men, a lot of guys want to be the head honcho alpha, and they feel smaller if their woman is at the same level or even, I guess, above
Financially, I mean, what does that mean, right?
financially.
Just
Right.
because
Right.
you can still be something, buddy. Whatever
Yeah,
you want to be.
exactly.
Protect her. She don't want to fight.
Exactly.
Like she
Right.
don't
I
want to take
get
out the
right.
trash.
Exactly. I
Right.
can't. I'm not killing no bugs. I'm
Right.
like, there's things I need for but it's
Right.
just like I think that it really eliminates the ones that aren't you're not supposed to be with anyway.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, okay, hey Gail.
Hey.
That it's really empowering to be with someone that sees you as an equal, whatever that is. And
Yes.
so I actually love that I am as successful as I am because it really has eliminated every guy that I wasn't supposed to be with. And I feel like I'm finally with someone that truly appreciates me, is not intimidated by me. And that's really what every woman deserves. And if you limit yourself, you might end up with the wrong person because you are just trying to be
Play
this like
small.
play small for a guy that is not big enough for you or like whatever. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah, he's really not man enough is what the
yeah,
problem
he's
is.
not the
Yeah.
one for you. Like if you have to dim your light in any capacity, that's just not your person. And so my word of the year is alignment.
Mm,
And I feel like I just really wasn't aligned with anybody that wasn't allowing me to be me. I
yeah.
knew that I would be where I am now, even 5 years ago when I wasn't. This was my vision. So
Yeah.
it's just like anybody that didn't see my vision or kind of downplayed my vision or, it's crazy to see. And I have friends, like there's not a lot of women in my position. This is a very
Right.
male, white dominated industry. But I
Right.
have another young lady that is one of my really good friends, and she is very, very successful, and she has a hard time dating guys because they're intimidated by her success. And I was just like, you're probably gonna have to be with someone that is just a lot more understanding. Like and sometimes there's just like a power dynamic when it
Yeah.
comes to men, which is so sad. I mean, who wouldn't want their woman to just be like a boss?
I know.
Like that's crazy.
Here's the
My,
crazy
my man loves it. And if your man don't love it, leave him.
if your man don't love it, leave him, ladies and gentlemen. That is the word for the day. The word of the year is alignment. Ariana, you are absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad we had this, we're able to schedule this. Again, you were somebody, a lot of people talked to me about coming on the show. You were somebody who I was coming toward to say, I'd love to have you on the show. Again, seeing you working with Lisa, I knew you had to be a dynamic woman. And she shared so much and spoke so highly of you, and rightfully so, clearly. A
Yes.
young woman, a young boss, doing your thing from Canton, Ohio, now in Columbus, a homeowner, a mortgage lender, somebody who educates people on how to do this, how to get your credit right, how to get your life right, how to use home ownership as a means of building wealth. I think is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being my guest here on Lucas Live.
Thank you
We
for
will
having
continue to
me.
support you. People are clapping and cheering in the comments. People are
Thanks,
happy we're
guys.
here.
Aw, everyone stuck around. I love that.
I know. I love it. I love it. I love it. People are here. They're excited to see you.
Great.
Thank you so much, Ariana. You stay on right here. I'm going to chat with you real quick as we close the show down and let you get on to your work day, but we're going to shut
Mhm.
it down. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me. I would love to come back another time.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely. So much information that people need to know. We will do it again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to shut it down. One more shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to Sarda. Thank you to Jessica Danielle Nails. Go get your nails. Ariana says she gets her nails done now. Now, if you got to cut it out of your budget, go to Jim and Jill Nail School over here with my girl Washika, because they're learning how to do nails and they'll take care of you there, and then it can be a little bit more affordable. But if you can, go see Jessica Danielle and her wonderful team at the Jessica Danielle Nail Bar or at NC Nail Lounge in North Canton or the Nail Bar here in Canton. Also, shout out to my girl Linda Reibenstein, who is a realtor here in Canton, Ohio. She's all over Ohio. She can serve you anywhere in Ohio. She's been doing it for over 30 years. She is relationship based, and she is honest, and she is real, and she is sincere, and she is a friend of mine, somebody I would recommend, and is an advertiser sponsor with our show. Shout out to Ace Carpet Cleaning. Once you got the house, you got to keep it clean. Get those carpets clean. Get that pet hair and dander, and the baby been crawling around, spitting up on the floor, and you've been wiping it up with a little napkin, and it's nasty. You done killed 32 bugs, and the bugs are still in the carpet. Get your carpet clean with Ace Carpet Cleaning, ladies and gentlemen, and continue to support us here at Lucas Live Media. We thank you. Make sure you like and follow. Let people know about it. Shout out again to the Peterson family. We had a wonderful time last night celebrating with the family of Darren Peterson as he was drafted number 2 in the NBA draft, taken by the Utah Jazz. We're so excited to be supporters and fans and continuing to support him. Canton, Ohio, stand up. We had a wonderful night last night. We had a wonderful day today. If you missed this episode, go back and watch the replay. It's live right now on Facebook, on YouTube. As soon as we're done. The rest of it, you'll be able to go back and watch all of it. Check out this episode. Listen to it as a podcast if you're busy at work today. And we'll see you next time. Our next episode is actually next Wednesday. So we're off until Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to be having a conversation about data centers. We're going to have a real conversation about AI and data centers in Stark County, in Canton, in Ohio, in our area. What does it mean? Y'all using AI? I'm using AI. And we're trying to figure out if data centers are okay. We're going to have this real conversation. We are going to have Jeff, the executive director, president of the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce, on to talk about it. He wrote a op-ed, something in the newspaper recently. It got a lot of attention. It's somewhat controversial, but we're going to have him on to talk about it and how he thinks it's going to impact business and industry in this area. As the leader of our local chamber, he's obviously in touch and in with a lot of businesses, and he has a real his hand on the heartbeat of what's going on in this community, and he's going to come talk about it from his perspective. I can't wait to have that conversation. We'll see you back next Wednesday for the next episode of Lucas Live. Everybody, have a great day.